think I want to bring us a little closer to the action today. All right, sewing machine. Whoop, tripod. All right, sewing machine, and then I'll bring over the ironing board, and we're in pretty good shape. I'm gonna wait until everyone comes in, or the most people. Whoops, wake up, computer. Oh, I had ads. Of course, I always have an ad. All right, all right. Hope everyone is having a wonderful week. Ta-da! That should be pretty good. All right, let's go a little closer. All right. I have it, pardon me, I have it so that the cord doesn't get pulled from the microphone, but now I don't have any extra. I think part of my issue is I'm in a different mood every time we go live, so I don't really know what I want you, woo, wake up, whoa, 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 earthquake, I want you guys to see, right? Trash cans in the way. I don't know. That might work. Quit messing with it, Robin. Quit messing with it. Oh, you can see all my Post-it notes. That's nothing. Yeah, some of them are a little personal, so I don't want to show them all. But I have, let's count Post-it notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 19, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40. I have at least 43 Post-it notes of things that I don't want to forget and I want to like work on. Like there's a couple of subscriptions I want to cancel, and it's really an effort to go online and cancel different things. A couple of projects that I want to work on, maybe a name for something. Oh, and I want to clean my cordless Panasonic iron, but I don't have, you know. Hi, Ellen. Hi, Janice. So it's one of those things, like I want to do these things, but I don't want to forget about them, so I'm doing the Post-it note thing. I have to clean all the pictures off of my phone. Oh, so sorry, Ellen. Oh, surprise, here I am. Hi, Tony. Okay, here's the one problem. I'm having to lean, let me see. Let me move you guys this way because I'm going to get a crooked neck and that's never good. All right, hi, Janice. Where's my cheat sheet book? Can't forget that. My cheat sheet book is for those of you that have like a fun name like RsIslandCrafts and I can't remember your name. And you guys have been here forever. I want to remember your name. So I wrote people's things down so I can remember. I've started without you, but I have a project for you guys that we're going to work on together. Hi, Sandy. Yeah, Sandy's made it. Woohoo! I have to keep the microphone extra cord in my pocket. There's a long cord and a short cord, and where the connector is, I'm always afraid it's going to come apart. So I put it in my pocket. See? I used to clip it onto my pants, but I'm wearing a deep, deep pocket. So we're good. I am just going to continue working on this one zipper pouch until we get a little bit after 11, and then we will work on our regular project. Tori, is this the first time you've, oh, sorry, not Tori, Tony. My apologies if I do it again. You're pretty far away and I can't see very well. Good morning, Jackie. Is this your first time hanging out with us on a live? If so, welcome. If not, I guess welcome back then. I'm still sewing on my brother, so it is a little bit clunky loud. My apologies. I was able to prepare, as in choose the scraps for, I think I have 6 zipper pouches. This is the one we're actually, well, that doesn't show you anything. This is the one we're gonna actually work on today. I need, ow, pins. I put pins in it. Ouch, I need my labels. I ordered, come on cord, come on, my little leash. I ordered new labels for the shop. I have my regulars and I ordered I get them from Emblem, most of them. The other ones, I think it's listed down below in the description box. It's somewhere in France, the little satin fold over ones, but Emblem has the fold over ones also. I just haven't had to order any, so I'm good. But I also ordered 1 by 1 inch square ones to put, into small projects like coin pouches possibly, but definitely for like key fobs. Oh, Giovanna, you're fine. We have barely gotten started. Hi, Jody. Well, welcome, Tony. I'm glad you can make it. You guys aren't late. It's not 11 o'clock yet. Remember, I start 10 minutes early or so, just because in case there's a oopsie and I can get everything adjusted before everyone comes in. The people on the replay are the ones that get a little motion sickness. That's why I warn them ahead of time, close your eyes. And also it gives everyone time to come in. Most of the time I'm not working on an actual project that you can't join in midstream. And I try not to say anything important unless I'm too excited, and then I'll just repeat it. Hi, Carol. Carol, I think you might be new today too. Welcome. Now, of course, if you don't leave comments on regular videos, if you're a lurker, which is 100% fine, I lurk all the time, then I wouldn't recognize your name, but I don't recognize your name. My apologies if you've been here forever and I'm just bad with names. That's why I put my name in the channel name, just to make sure so it's not just RsIslandCrafts. That way, anyone who's like me will know my name. New to the live, welcome. I'm glad you can come hang out with us. We are working on Halloween projects today. Which made me, let me see, am I going to get in anyone's way? I think I'm okay. Excuse me if I do. Which made me think I really need to make some more bowl cozies. Every time I've been eating oatmeal for dinner. It kind of fills me up without being too full, and it gets me through the night without wanting a snack before bed, which is good. I've been using my bowl cozy, so I keep thinking I really need to make bowl cozies for the shop with some autumnal ones and some Halloween ones. I want to do the rounded edge this time versus the pointy corners. I really like the rounded edges. Welcome, Susan from South Africa. So happy you made it here with us today. Welcome. Your name sounds familiar though, although I don't think I've seen you on one of our lives, but I think I've seen you, or at least your name. So anyway, welcome. I'm just really excited if I ever remember somebody's name. Yeah, I had fun just going through my scraps and making hodgepodges ones. Some of these are simply just a few fabrics, like the one I'm working on right now. But that's quick and easy. I know you guys like to see the patchy work one, so that's why we're going to do this one. We got some eyeballs and some kitty cats, bats. A lot of fun fabrics. Some of them are, unthreaded my needle. Some of them are really old. Some are Walmart from probably early 2000s. And some have been sent from scraps that you guys have sent me. The pumpkins and the candy corn is from you guys. And then this one is a scrap. It's got this great background with clouds, but it has haunted houses with ghosts coming out of it. That's got to be a really fun fabric in yardage. So I'm just going to finish this top. It's now 11 o'clock. This one I'm doing extra quilting on. I kind of want to do the extra quilting on that one, if you guys don't mind. If the sewing machine noise doesn't drive you crazy. I've already quilted the back fabric and I picked out my lining and all that. So, whoa, come on. Sometimes the brother just, you know, you got to hold her hand a little bit every now and then and get her going. I did make all of my tote bags on this. I haven't finished my tote bags yet. They are, I think they're like later today or tomorrow's project. This is the first one I'm going to work on because I just need to sew around the tops. I'll get those done so I can get them photographed and in the shop. All of these will go in the shop once they're done. Noise isn't bad. Great. Thanks, Jackie. Jackie, how are you enjoying your new house? Are you finally getting settled in and figuring out where things go? How's your daughter and her family like in your old house? I think it's kind of cool. So neither house is like unknown to you. Thanks, Giovanna. Excellent, Janice. Yeah, I try to put some in. I try to balance in my videos between the amount I talk and then the amount of sewing machine, because I know you guys have mentioned before that you like the sound of the sewing machine versus like music or, you know, dead silence. Okay, so here is my zipper pouch. I haven't chosen the back for it yet, so let me show you what I've got going on and then we'll start working on the next one. So this is the one we're going to make. I have my zipper. Everything's pinned in place. Normally I don't do this. I usually just pull from my scraps as I go, but last time it took us 3 hours to make a zipper pouch. So we thought we might not do that this time. I've only pulled lining fabric for this pouch. I kind of like to figure it out as I go, plus I forgot. So that one's going to have the orange with the black polka dots. I even have extra fabric sticking down because I don't know how much fabric I'm going to need. So I try to overlap them about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch just to make sure that I have enough. And I think this Happy Halloween at the top is going to glow in the dark. And this one just has some stripes. I thought that might be fun just to have it going across. Happy Halloween, again, I think it glows. Plus I have the pumpkins, the pumpkin cupcakes. This is a fun way to do it so that you spend like your evenings when your brain's kind of tired and not thinking very well, and then you go ahead and just lay everything out, and then when you really need to think, these really you don't need to think that much for them, but if you want to plan your colors, planning Halloween makes it really easy because it's just Halloween. So I tried to balance and not have too much of the same thing, whether it's all pumpkins, which would be fine, but I don't want to do 80% pumpkins and 20% like ghost. So I try to find a little balance with that and colors. And I'm also trying to use up my 12-inch zippers because I only have a few, so I used the purple ones. This one was fun. I like that witch's wizard hats in there. And then a little bit of a Snoopy. And that's a fun Walmart fabric from a long time ago. And then these are the backs that I've chosen for the rest of these. So I have Boo. I think one of you guys sent this, or it's just an old Walmart fabric. And then not everyone likes the skulls, but I have black and red, and they do sell reasonably well. So I thought for 2 of them, I would put those on the back. The sugar skulls for, you know, that Spanish holiday, Dios de los Muertos or something, whatever, Day of the Dead. So I have those two in case, because I've had a few zipper pouches in the shop with those on it, and they do sell well. So this guy, this was supposed to be on the top like this, but I'll put the ghosts on upside down, but I might leave it because Halloween is fun. I really wanted the checkered on the bottom, but I got my ghost all miscombobulated. They're gonna be with the zipper, so then it just looks like the ghosts are peeking down from the top of the pouch. That's the thing with Halloween or silly ones, that you can get away with putting something a little weird and wrong, you know. I don't like doing that, but you know what it is, and get away with it. So that's those. That's a later today project, weekends into tomorrow. So let me put these over here out of the way. Before we get working on this one, I just wanted to bring these over. This is my tuck-in bin, mostly. I do have the needle books in there that we made. I'm not sure if I'm going to put them in the shop. No one's requested them, so they're still sitting here waiting for me to decide what I want to do. But I made 2 more of the diamond painting mandala keychains from the Dollar Tree. I've been tucking these into the first order every month or after a video when I show these, but this time people asked that I sign RsIslandCrafts on the bottom, so I went ahead and did that on the back. If you don't like my name on there, you can always paint the back or put some heat and bond with fabric on it. That would work too. But anyways, I'm going to say that if anyone would like one of these, they'll go for 2 different people. If you place an Etsy order, just put in the note to seller that you would like one of the mandala, diamond painting, keychains, whatever. And I'll add that in as a tuck-in. The rest of these are just other tuck-ins that if you spend a certain dollar amount, or if you've placed a lot of orders, or if I just decide on Tuesday, whoever orders on Tuesday is going to get this, then that's what's in there. I still have one more diamond painting kit that I want to work on. And that's the kitty cat greetings card. And I'll probably do the same thing. I'll probably make this and then I'll put it into, you know, spend a certain dollar amount and you get this card or something like that. You can kind of see it's a decent size card. So it's, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's like 8 by something. Probably says it somewhere. No fuss, no muss. Ages 8 and up. That works for me. So thank you, Jody, for sending that. I've been having fun working on those. All right, let's catch up on the chat. Jackie's getting her craft room all settled. Oh, that is quite a pair, Jody. Excuse me, my nose itches. The green bats do not glow in the dark. I really wish they did. They're Joann's fabric that I bought many, many years ago, and I used it for the border on my Halloween swap quilt that I put on my bed all the time. But Dia de los Muertos. Thank you, Jackie. I always get the words all mixed together. Hi, Yvette Marie. Never late. We haven't really started yet. Oh, Jackie, that makes 0 sense. But, you know, that's how it goes, right? Especially when you're moving into a new place and getting things unpacked and rearranged. Hi, Dawn. Welcome, welcome. All right, so now let me change my thread, and we're going to get down to business. Oh, excuse me. I'm so rude. On this one, I decided to take the time and actually change my thread for each one. So I have a plummy thread here, and then I use black on the top and bottom and green on the side. You really can't tell too much, but you know, it doesn't take that long to change the thread. I've been listening to some of the younger girls that are just starting out with their shops and stuff online, you know, doing markets and stuff. I really enjoyed the market videos, and I don't want to do a market, by the way. I just enjoy watching them. And they say, you know, they don't want to change their thread. It's really tedious. But when their people in their chat and the comments are like, you really should, like, when you close up the hole in a zipper pouch, I don't want to put white thread on a black fabric. You know, sometimes I'll blur it a little bit. You know, I would put orange on that, but I might put white on a light pink or something. But I don't want a high contrast because I don't want to show that area off too much because, in my opinion, it's not the best looking thing. But then they go through and they'll do something else. They'll make like a tote bag and they'll change their threads to match like the handle covers. And they realize how much nicer it looks. And yeah, it's annoying, but I lay all my things out and I pull all my threads and bobbins and I lay them out across my desk. And then as I go, I can go ahead and change them and, you know, make everything look kind of fun. But again, with something like Halloween or even sometimes like Christmas, you can get away with not changing the colors. This one has such small, where are you? I don't want to sew through something else. This one has such smaller pieces that I don't know that I'm going to change the color because I'm only going to top stitch right there at the seam versus stitching every single piece like I did in the last one. Spent the morning looking for the Halloween, got that, got that, got that. Exactly, Jackie. I order my stuff. So if I'm making 20 zipper pouches and these need, when I'm just doing certain things that you can't see, it doesn't matter to me too much, but I want like the color of the quilting to be the same color that I sew the zipper down if possible. Sometimes it doesn't matter too much. But before I get started, I'm going to ask one question and you guys can vote for Quilt As You Go is QAYG or just the word top for top stitching. Do you think let me get my example. Come here. Do you think I should do Quilt As You Go and put all of those quilting lines in on each piece like that? Or do you think I should just top stitch, meaning when I stitch the fabric down, I'll just put one line of quilting on it and the fabric will just be flat without any extra quilting on it? And then that'll determine whether or not I have to change my thread all the time. I don't mind either way. I'm going to start with the center one with orange, so I'm going to get my bobbin on. These are Missouri Star Quilt Company ones. A lot of companies use these. Unfortunately, they're not a good quality spool, the plastic. This part is supposed to sit flat up against to hold the thread in. Some of them, like this one, is 3/4 or almost 90% unflat. So and it makes it wobble on my sewing machine. So I stick these upside down. Plus, I like it when the thread comes from the back of the spool. So I just go ahead and do this. Now, just so you know, it's going to take a little bit longer to do the quilting, but they're small pieces, so it'll go quick. And also, it's going to be more sewing. So whatever you guys want. Majority always rules. I'll just bring over all the different colors of thread. I can use orange, 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 but then I don't really want to put orange on the green and the white. Like I said, I don't mind changing it. It's a self-threading, and even not, I've been around the block long enough that I know how to put the thread in a sewing machine needle and a regular needle, and it's not a big deal. Plus, I'm sewing on my brother. There's going to be enough issues as it is with, not issues, but the fact that the Juki does things a lot quicker. This is all cotton fabrics, yeah. This is all cotton fabrics. So either way, it's going to be fine. You like either way, Rose? You think I should put orange on the blue and the green and the white, Jody? Just make it as a highlight. See, that's again, Halloween fabrics are meant to be fun and crazy and wild. So if I were to put orange fabric on the white and black bats, they're already flying sideways. So I could put orange thread on it. It wouldn't really matter. I mean, I could put white on everything too. You can use like a blendy, like a more of a tan creamy beige. All right, so now I need to take all of these pins out before I kill myself. Bleed to death all over everything. All right, so here's my, whatever that's called, zipper. Oh, it's gonna be a good day today, guys. So we got 2 top stitching and 1 quilt as you go. So basically, if that's everyone who wants to put a pinion in, we'll just do the top stitching. If I top stitch, then I'm gonna go orange all the way. But if I quilt as you go, then I would change it. Just 1 line of stitch. Gotta put the green with the green, Robin. Just 1 line of stitching on the top stitching. That doesn't matter to me. I don't mind having, I could put purple on all of this and I would be fine with it, because at that point it then blends in. Okay. So we're gonna go top stitching all in. Whoops, I knew there was another needle somewhere. Pin. Sticking with the orange thread. I didn't even like trim down pieces. I just laid them down however they were, and then we'll go from there. You would use black. Black would work too. I'm only going, you know why I'm going with orange, Giovanna? I have an orange zipper. Really, that's like, there's a lot of orange fabrics, but there's an orange zipper. And I feel like the zipper kind of, I'm using 100%, you guys can't see me over here, I'm pressing on the ironing board. I'm using 100% cotton batting, no scrim, so I can put my iron directly on it and not have a problem. I didn't iron any of these fabrics, and then since I am probably just going to fold it over and stitch it down without bringing it to the iron each step, maybe, maybe not, we'll see how I feel. I'm gonna go ahead and press these. Yeah, I didn't even iron them, because when I did the other pouch, I ironed at each stage, so then it didn't really matter. I would sew my 1/4 inch seam, take it over to the iron and press it over, and it would be ironed. Now, if it was really crazy wrinkly, I would go ahead and, you know, press my fabrics first. I have not sorted my Halloween fabrics. Excuse me, I have allergy voice even more than usual lately. I did take a Ricola hoping it would help, but this is probably it helping. And yeah, wherever I was at. No need to iron first, but I kind of like to have them not have a hard crease in it, because sometimes the hard crease will stay. Oh yeah, so I need to go through all of my Halloween fabrics and sort them by smaller sizes and larger sizes. All right, so this piece is going here. If this piece goes here, then it's going to be for the whole section from the eyes down. So I need to have that piece that goes underneath, which is my little spiders. Now, most of these you can see are pretty well even. And a lot of times I like to go a little wonky or off center, but I didn't want to have to deal with the triangle diagonal stuff today. So I am just going with this. I need to make sure I have enough space up top. Oh, these batting, I think they're like 10 by 7.5, 10 by 8. I don't really have a particular size. I just have a feel for the size zipper pouch that I like to make. This doesn't work well for like coin pouches because it's hard. You'd have to really use, you understand me? Cool. Coin pouches are small. They would be good for smaller scraps like crumb, but all right, so I guess I could put this on a 1/4 inch then. Someone was kind enough to tell me that for my sewing machine, 37 is a 1/4 inch. I actually took a Sharpie. I don't normally write on my sewing machines, but on my brother, everything is just a little bit different, so I don't mind writing on it. So 37 is a 1/4 inch, and I'm going to do a 3.0 stitch length. I also wrote down my numbers for zippers. So now I have a 1/4 inch seam, but sometimes I might go a little less than a 1/4 inch. I might, move it a little bit more to the right and just go a scant 1/4 inch and then go from that. So just stitch the length of the bottom piece because you can always trim off the top. This machine doesn't have an automatic thread cutter. Just finger press it and top stitch down. I do about 1/8 of an inch, give for advertisement. I like to stop talking when an ad comes up on mine, just in case you guys get an ad at the same time so that you don't miss any chat. But I do like to go less than a 1/4 of an inch when I top stitch. I had a thought this morning that maybe my Juki's supposed to be 4 to 6 weeks, but maybe it'll be done early. That would be nice, right? Okay, so there's no quilting on. Let me bring that other one over here. There's no quilting on each piece. If you're doing the quilt as you go with all the quilting, you quilt this first piece. I would quilt this one up and down because this one I would do side by side. It's just easier. So I would quilt this one first. Then it's just sitting there on the batting in the center. Then I would put this piece on, stitch across there, and then I'd quilt, quilt, quilt. Last year when we were doing the same thing for Christmas zipper pouches, are you going to be, no, you're not the whole thing. For Christmas zipper pouches, I did show all of the quilting on that one. Yes, alcohol and also, yeah, don't, yeah, oh, don't, she'll get drunk. Yeah, you wipe off the letters too. I know like ink and stuff, you can use hairspray. I wrote it down. I wrote it on the number 37. I just put a 1/4 inch. And then my zip measurements, I wrote down at the bottom where it's just white. Don't forget to stay hydrated. Okay. I'm thinking, is this going to go all the way across? No. Okay, so maybe this goes, that's interesting. Oh, this one goes all the way up, right? Okay, so this one, I just want to see something. Okay, so I think I would have preferred, this is skinny and we're probably going to lose a lot of this in the trimming and also in the seam allowance, but I'm going to go ahead and leave it just because I'd already did it and it is what it is. It's scrappy, right? If we weigh some of it and cut it off and throw it away, it's okay. Normally people would throw that in the trash anyways. Save this because it has that fun cat on there, but not everyone's gonna save everything, right? And fold it over. Some of the green is underneath. You could trim it off, but I'm not gonna worry about it. I did quilt the back piece with a crosshatch quilting. I thought this donuts would be fun because it has a lot of eyeball stuff on it. This is from Joann's in Florida, so a couple years ago, maybe Hobby Lobby last year. I don't remember. It's less than 3 years old, but I thought that would be fun. And I did the kind of cross hatching. It's 1.5 inches, so it's going to get trimmed down, but it's not like perfect. I was gonna wing it and just let the lines show up wherever they were, but then I worried about the people that have a little OCD or prefer them straight. So thank you, Giovanna. So it doesn't take long to just make them straight, right? It's not a big deal. I do need to do some research on those the lasers you can put on your sewing machine so I don't have to keep making the marks all the time. So that's the one that's going to go. So I need to do these two next. And this cat's going to only be as wide as the bats, so I'm going to put it on the bottom. Stitch it down. With a project like this, especially this version, when you're adding tons of quilting to it, you don't have to have that perfect 1/4 inch seam. So this is a really good project for those people that struggle with quilt blocks. You can do this for quilt blocks too, right? I mean, it's basically a log cabinish. That's the way I like to build mine. Or it could be considered, I consider it a crumb block. So I have the butt and the tail. Now, I'm not going to use this most likely, but because it makes me giggle, I'm going to put it in my milk can, and then maybe I might want to use it in something because I can put it on top. Oh, on top. I went out. I have everything stored. Oh. I keep hearing my parents and grandparents telling me how rude it is to reach across the table in front of people. In my stuff, I found this piece of sparkly spiderweb fabric. I really liked it. And then I have this piece of booth fabric. And I haven't done anything with it yet. I can make all of these pouches the quilting part. And then I can say, hey, I want to add some stuff to it. I can do that. Because I was thinking that this might be fun to just applique basically on top. And I also have some ribbons. A lot of times I just pick these up at the Dollar Tree. These right here. Let me show you up close. This is my zoom. Ready? Shaky, shaky. Okay, so this is an Offray micro spool. I don't know if I got them from the Dollar Tree or Michael's. I want to say Michael's, but it's just a small amount of ribbon. This says it's 5/8 and it's just 4 feet. And I probably didn't spend very much on it. I don't use a lot of ribbon, but I love to buy ribbon. So this is perfect. It takes up less space. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Rose. I don't know if I miss people coming in. Look at Giovanna's name is everywhere. Giovanna. I love that you come in and chat with everyone and welcome everyone. So here's my spiel. My apologies if I miss your comments. I've got right up here at the top, those darn I poked my screen. Those darn ads are up there again, so I can't see as much chat as I usually do, but I appreciate everyone that's chatting and even my lurkers. I love my lurkers. So I have dead fish that are green, just a simple orange ribbed. This one says, boo, happy Halloween, trick or treat. A scared spider, it's square like Frankenstein's monster. Boo with a ghost. Oh, this is just purple with little loops on the edge. And then this is fun with little potions and Frankenstein's witches and stuff like that. It reminds me of the McDonald's Halloween buckets. For those of you that like the McDonald's Halloween buckets, I can't tell you exactly who's doing it, but I keep getting an ad for Etsy. So there's a small shop, a business on there like my shop, that has patterns for the little plastic pails so you can make, I don't know if you make an actual pail or if it's just like a placemat type thing, but I thought that was really cool. So we can add ribbon. We did that on one of our recent ones. So I can just add ribbon. After I'm done, I can add ribbon to it. I can add beads to it and buttons and whatever I want. Ooh, Christmas crumbs. So that's what I think what I want to do with some of my smaller Halloween ones. I want to pull them out and just sew them into maybe 6.5 inch squares or whatever size I want to do, 9.5. 12.5 can be a little bit much for small squares, small scraps. It just takes forever. And then just put it back in my scrap bin. And when I want to, I can just pull it out, cut it off for a pot holder, a zipper pouch. I'll make sure, well, I like cotton batting. I try not to use anything but cotton batting. But if I make it 10.5 inches, I can make bowl cozies out of the crumbs. So it's nice to spend some time when you don't feel like doing much, your brain's not working, you don't want to work on your projects, but you want to sew, or at night, before bed when you want to just do a little something something, you can work on projects like that. Hi, Rita. I imagine it is. I don't mind the ads too much. Some of the ads, I don't have the ads for those McDonald's buckets don't come across here. They come across my Instagram, and they come across when I go to Pinterest and stuff. So whenever I'm looking for different Halloween things for either inspiration or something specific, they'll pop up. And I don't mind it because obviously our devices are listening to us and they know what we want. They see what I search, so Google's pretty good about, showing me things that I might like. Though I totally understand for those that watch a lot of YouTube going ad-free, because if you worry that your favorite YouTubers like myself, thank you so much, are not getting paid, we still get paid a certain percentage automatically from the people that watch this video specifically, or any video, of course. And I get a certain percentage from, who does it say, Rita, who said that? Yeah. So I'll still earn a little bit of money off of Rita, even though she's not going to see any ads. They don't punish us because of that. So I think that's pretty good. Okay, I have dangly bits. I'm going to leave them for now. And then I think this was the next piece that needed to go on. So that's a fun little puzzle. Now, I have extra sticking up off the top here. If I want to get more of the mummy on here, I could drop it down further, or I could trim off the bottom. So if I want to make sure that he's going to be on there, his head's already cut off, so for me it doesn't matter too much. But I do want to make sure that I line it up, because this piece is higher and a little higher there, so I'm going to line it up with the shorty piece. And the amount of fabric that's there is not much, so I'm not going to worry too much that it has double fabric underneath. It's called a seam allowance. Yeah, like the TV, you get used to it. Hi, Becky. See? That's it right here. I know Bays is Becky because it's close enough so it works for me. But that's why I have her right here. I have Bays H and it says Becky. So if you guys chat a lot with people and you struggle like I do, make yourself a little cheat sheet. Obviously, you guys know I do it, but no one would know you did it. All right, this one I want to press. I love the eye fabric. I tried to choose a specific fabric for the center so that, here, let me show you. Let me just show you one time ironing. So that it's like a central point where it draws your eye in. So here's my iron. I'm going to set the seam. And then I'm just going to press up. Because it's all cotton batting, I can iron right over the batting and there's no problem. So based on your batting, you might have to put a pressure sheet on, or use one of those little small palm irons, so you only iron where you want to. All right. Now this one has a little extra, so I will show you that you can just fold it over, make a little crease. You took the wire out of Halloween ribbons and used them. Yeah, exactly. Doesn't bother me if it's got a wire in it. The wire's in it so you can make bows and stuff, but if you don't want it, you just pull the wire out. And then you can be the crazy person that saves the wire, or you can get rid of it depending on what you do. I can only save so much, so if I can't use it soon, then I don't save it. Yippee! Yippee, yippee. By the way, my carpet ends like right here where my needle is, so I have to watch where the wheels are on my sewing machine. My left foot is on carpeting and my right foot is on the sewing pedal on the the fake hardwood floor. Yeah, 15 euros. I have one too that I like to use when I'm doing like my postcards with the fusible interfacing and stuff. So then I don't have to worry if I get it on it. I can clean the iron, it's not a problem. I clean them regularly anyway, but yeah. Speaking of, have you guys cleaned your sewing machine lately? I saw someone on Instagram and they hadn't cleaned it in 2 months, and they make a lot of fleece and flannel items, so it was packed in there. I mean, even if you just clean out like the main bobbin area and underneath it, then that helps. And then periodically, not 2 months, you can take it all apart and clean it. I at least clean it every day. This one's real easy because most of it comes off. And then I know you're not supposed to blow on it, but it's fine. I take a pipe cleaner or chenille thingy, and I just poke around in there and get it clean. But you want to make sure that the inside here is relatively clean. My pipe cleaners are all the way over there. I'll just grab it. It's not too bad because it's only sewing since yesterday. And then just make sure everything's nice and clean. Put it back in. It's going to make your sewing much easier and your machine last longer in between spa days. Ooh, interfacing t-shirts. Tony, I'm so glad we can keep you company because that sounds very repetitive and semi-boring. And I feel like my brain would be going, okay, line it up here and go there. Line it up here and put it there. Put it under there. Okay. So if you're like, I was thinking about putting designs on them, but interfacing on the back of a t-shirt, do you have a heat press? That would make things a lot easier. No, I know. Well, Giovanna, then you don't need to clean your sewing machine now, do you? So I have this piece now. If any of these were a little shorter on my batting, I would just pick a space that I want to have the stuff on, and then I would just trim it smaller or add another piece in. Not really care. Oh, the Steel Lover has made it. That is Gwen for everyone who would like to know. See, cheat sheet. Just works. I probably should put them on a sticky note, and then I won't have to pull out the book all the time, because what's one more sticky note when you have so many? I did take several down recently. I put it on my planner to, remove sticky note projects. So I went through and I cleared out as much as I could. And then I think I cleared out 4 or 5, but I think I put 8 more up in their place. So yeah, whatever. We've just been rambling and playing with the Halloween stuff. You can always check the replay. While you guys are here, just look down at the bottom of your screen, and I would appreciate it if you check to make sure you're still subscribed. Sometimes YouTube will unsubscribe you even though you're here every day, or maybe you haven't been here in a bit. Sometimes they'll just unsubscribe people. It's just kind of a glitchy thing they do. Exactly, Rita. I have 2 planners that I keep track of things in, but that would be like pulling down a big book. This way I can just look up. I do. I think I counted, 42? That's not even a half of it. My car's paid off, so I need to order my car title, so that one's down here, but I have to fill out some paperwork or something first. I want to talk to my patrons about the Advent series coming up. I want to make some candy corn. I need to clear out the extra pictures on my phone. I have a new pattern that I purchased that I want to make some things, and my Halloween bowl cozies. And I also have something if it's on my calendar, sticky note, then it's something I need to do right away. It's important. And then if it's over here, these are kind of important. And then the ones on, if I ever need to pull down those rulers and use them, I'd be in a lot of trouble because they got sticky notes all over them. Oh well, life goes on, right? I want this little owl on it, so I'm going to put the extra fabric on the top this time. Yeah, there's a lot. I get so much going through my brain that I just need to put things down. My daughter was I did it before in the past, just a little bit, but my daughter was telling me that she went and worked at a Mission Barbecue years ago, and the manager there liked to put sticky notes up on the office wall so they wouldn't forget important things like, change someone's W-2, make sure you clean the filters or whatever. And then when they were done, like a manager could come in, see one of the chores on the wall, take the sticky note off, do what's on there, initial it, and then stick it to the desk. So I thought that was really kind of smart. So managers, employees, they didn't have to keep going, hey, Robin, what should I do now? Hey, Robin, what should I do? They can just pick a chore off the wall, do it, and that way they can choose the one they want, unless it's been assigned to you. And then, you know, it gets done. So I thought that was brilliant. I don't have anyone to do my chores for me, so I just put it on there. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I paid it off, I think, a year and a half or 2 years early. I was really excited. I was very, very happy. It's a 2015 Dodge Journey, and the value has dropped significantly. Like, it went from, when I looked at it, a couple years ago, it had a trade-in value of like $8,000 or $10,000. Now the trade-in value is $2,000. So it's like, because they're not making them anymore. All right, so here it is. Now I can decide, do I have any of the ribbon that I might want to put on there? Like maybe I want to take, maybe if I want to put a piece of this across, because it depends on what you have. Like if I had ribbons with ghosts on it, I could put it on this pouch that has ghosts on it. Maybe I might want to put, let's see what we have here. We have 2 of them. Oh, this has that whole plastic thingy. They have different things that you can buy or make to, to organize your ribbon and to keep it on the spool and all of that. I thought that was, I went down that rabbit hole a few years ago. That was really fun. So like this is a fun, this would have to be like here. So it couldn't go like, I mean it can, but it's sideways. So even if as you're making the pouch, if you want, when you do this one, you can add it in so that it's sewn down into the seam allowances. So it just adds that little bit in. That would have been really kind of fun there. So you can do those different things and add it on. Yeah, it's nice. I saved a lot on the interest. I'm trying to, to be a little personal here. At one point, I had 0 credit. Like, I didn't have good credit or bad credit. I just never had credit. I didn't do credit cards. We didn't do car loans or anything like that. So I just didn't have any credit. So then I started working on building up my credit. I am so excited. Like, my credit is, not to toot my own horn, but I've been working pretty hard to create the need to, like, get a credit card, even though I don't want to use a credit card. You put things on, you pay it off, you make payments. So my credit is, knock on wood, looking really good, and I'm very proud of that. So let me see what else I have. See, because of the seam right here, I would go across the fabric, so I probably wouldn't put anything on this. But I just wanted to give you guys that kind of idea on what that looked like. Let me put this over here, out of the way. Now I need to trim this down, and because again, my brain works like some of yours and not like some of yours. So I try to do things that's going to keep me from getting in trouble. I have the fabric that's sticking out. There's no batting underneath it, so it's not going to be part of this project. So I don't want to have it there. Move the iron. I don't want to visually see it. Like that one's no big deal, but this side piece, I can have no batting in the seam allowance. That's fine. But I like to trim all those bits off just so I don't see them. And they're all small. I've already used the scraps. I'm throwing it away. So I have my backing that I made the same size as this. So I just need to verify that if I were to trim this down to, let's say, 9.5 by 7, that this is at least 9.5 by 7. Okay. There's an ad. Thank you, ads. I appreciate you. Yeah, it's so easy to get distracted, right? So I'm going to go ahead and trim this up. My microphone cord's tickling my ankle. So I think I'm going to go with 9.5 by 6 3/4, just to make sure it's a nice even. Now with a zipper pouch, other than putting the measurements in my shop, I don't care if it's 9 1/4, 9 1/8, 7 3/8. None of those numbers matter to me. I try to stay reasonably consistent with most of them, but these are, you know, we're winging it. So maybe, let me see, maybe I can get, there's 6 3/4. That's the one I wanted. You know, I just wanted to be within a certain range. I don't want 12-inch pouches and 4-inch pouches and nothing in between. So I try to just fill in the gaps to make sure there's something for everyone. If it gets too big, then, you know, I'll put a handle on it so that it can be used as like a wrist thing. So now you can measure this, and if it's a weird number, I would just put this one on top of the other one. I think I showed that to somebody in some video. 9.5 by 6 3/4. Hi, Mary. Better late than never. Oh, Camping Lady. Camping Lady, would you like to share what your first name is? Or would you just like to be Camping Lady? We're good, however you want to go. But if you want to be called by your name, I will use your name and put you on my cheat sheet. Susan. Hi, Susan. Everyone, welcome, Susan. All right, so anyone else, if I missed anyone, I really feel bad if I do. I know how if you come to the same chat all the time and the person that's talking or the people in the chat, they don't talk to you, they get a little upset. Oh, no. Yeah, see, that's the danger part. Like, you can't easily, well, you can't get an apartment most places unless you have credit, because they've got to do a credit check versus just a check to see if you've been evicted a bunch of times. Because if you have bad credit, then, you know, you don't pay your bills very much, so they don't want you. I understand the reasoning and all. It's just can be hard for people who don't want to. My grandparents always told me years ago, like when I was under 18, you know, they kept a credit card because they couldn't rent a car. But they didn't put anything on it. They would like rent a car and then they turn around and pay it off because they didn't want to have that interest and stuff. But you can't do that to build your credit, because if you're you have no money that you owe, so you can't show that you're owing. So it's this whole big thing of trying to figure all of that out, right? And then if you're married, you're tied to the other person's credit too, good or bad. All right, so those are both the same size. Now I need this. See, you never know what you're going to talk about when you come hang out with Robin. My patrons, just a little hint to my patrons. My video this week is me working on projects and just rambling. Kind of like this, but more crafty. Why do you feel... I think my rotary cutter is dirty. Hold on. It doesn't open and close easy. Oh, yeah. See, here we have to have that, Giovanna, to rent a car. Sometimes you can rent it just off of your driver's license, but that was years ago. I don't know if they still allow that. These rotary cutters are great, but certain designs, I love the Missouri Star rotary cutters, but the design does create a lot of fuzz to clump up in there. I think it's in the actual handle or something, because it's there. That's better. It was very clumpy and feeling like it was sticking. Is that the way it goes? Yes. I love how, I reach for these now more than my other ones because they are very smooth. Let me close it before I cut myself. It's coming over the pond, unfortunately, yeah. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, you know, there has to be some way to do things without that, you know? Because some really good rich people don't do well. They kind of forget to do things even though things are automated. And some poor people pay their bills all the time and just have no debt and have enough money to do things, but they just don't want a credit card or whatever. So this will go into my polka dot stash. And this is, let me see how big this is. This is only 1.25 inches, but I do have some small polka dot stash container, so I'm going to put those over there too, because I definitely want to do polka dot crumb blocks too. 9.5 by 6 3/4. Yeah, I have credit cards just for building up the credit and stuff. I got rid of all of my store cards and now I just have a couple main ones. But I just use them for big reoccurring things that come out every year so that, you know, all of a sudden I don't open up my bank account and I made like a $300 payment and not realized it type of thing. But it's mostly there just because, like, I have one through my bank and stuff like that. And that helped me, allowed me to get a bank loan through them because I built up my credit. Exactly, right? Cash is crazy. If you go into the store and handed people cash at like Walmart, well, Walmart's not too bad. They kind of expect that sometimes. But if you go somewhere and you like pull out $300 cash, they look at you crazy. If you go somewhere and pull out $5 cash, they look at you like you're crazy. Like, cash? I don't know what that is. What am I going to do with that? It's not that big of a deal, people. Okay, so if I'd had these little, well, this, I could put it like right here. I've said many times, sorry patrons, I've gone over this with you guys, but I've said many times that I don't like to put my label right on the front of something because not everyone wants to see it. This is kind of like small and unassuming. Something's been telling me lately to start putting my labels on the front of things. Well, let me show you some of the options that you guys are going to see. These are all in the shop, almost all, except for one thing. So if you guys want to take a peek over there. So this is what I made with you guys. Coasters is hard. If you make a set of 5 coasters, do you put it on one? Do you put it on all? And then this one's so dark, so I put that on the inside. And that one's light, so I thought it would be fun there. And then I have this coaster from a leftover block, so I put it down there because I thought, sometimes I think it kind of looks nice. This is Wild and Crazy, so I put it on the inside. No rhyme or reason. And then these are all in the shop too. These are the 30s repro, not repo like you took your car. So I have, those are on the inside. So I don't know, hit and miss, but something's telling me to start putting my labels on the outside. So like, what if Giovanna's making a video and she pulls out a zipper pouch and it's mine and people love it, but they're too nervous to ask her where she got it? It would have like my shop name right on the front. So I don't really know. Exactly, Becky. You should not get penalized for having your life under control. Time to drink. Yeah, now Giovanna, I am selling my coasters individually versus a set. I think if I gave them as a gift, I would probably just put it on one, or if I sold a set. But because my brain doesn't know how to turn off, I would be like, okay, here's a set of 4. Well, what if they ended up losing some or giving them away and they only have one left and the one that's left is the one without my name on it? Really, Robin, get over it. People know where they buy their stuff. Plus, if you bought it on Etsy, you can always go back and search your purchases. Because when you go to Etsy, you can search your purchases for like coasters and then see all the coasters you bought. you don't have to look on each individual purchase. It comes in handy a lot when I want to see if I bought any project bags, zipper bags, or whatever, and I haven't made them yet. That's one of my... Yeah, you also don't want someone to say, yeah. Now, I always tell you guys, like I tell Jody, Jody's so busy and she didn't feel good for a while. I said, hey, just tell everyone you made it. Okay, if they look and they see my shop name, whatever. But you can tell everyone you made it. I don't mind. I mean, obviously my tag is in there. But for Jody, I would have made all of her Christmas gifts for her and not put labels on it if that's the route she wanted to go. Now, I am going to be wild and crazy and use this orange and still quilt around my tag with orange. That's what I'm thinking. Miss Perfect, do you want to be added to my cheat sheet? Now, some people like Giovanna wouldn't mind this. Like I could go, oh, Giovanna, is that really your name? Let me guess your name. But I'm terrible at guessing names. So I'm thinking that's what I'm going to do. Oh, yeah, that's really, the alcohol is a really great tip. Oh, Banana Joe. Giovanna talks to you all the time, and I have not made that connection. Thank you for hanging out with us again. Even if you're just hanging out with Giovanna, I don't mind. You guys can, like, as long as you're playing the video, you can turn my voice off and just chat with people. It doesn't bother me. I wouldn't know anyways, right? Yes, we're having alcohol, Jody. I cannot have any... Oh, my cheat sheet, because I can't remember that Miss Perfect is Banana Joe, so I write down your YouTube name and then I write down your real name. Or if you don't want us to know your real name, I would put, you know, does not want to share a real name, which is fine. You know, it's everyone's choice. And that way I can say, instead of going, hi, Miss Perfect, I can go, oh, hey, Banana Joe's here. Hi. Or hi, Gwen. And hi, Becky. Some people want to use their real name. Some people don't. I just feel like I don't always want to say, hi, Miss Amana Pia or something like that when their name is Joe. So, whatever. Oh, margaritas all around. Oh, you're Banana Joe. Giovanna. Don't do that. You cause trouble. 50 lashes with a wet noodle. That's what you're going to get. That's what you're going to get. I can embarrass myself all on my own. I don't need your help. You are bananas, all of you. That's fine. You don't have to share your name. We don't mind at all. I just want to give a preference. I also ask people if, like, I think it's Yvette Marie, she doesn't want to be called Yvette because that's not her name. Her full name is both words. Some people just put the extra, you know, middle name up there because YouTube already has that name or something. So it's all good, you know. We just, whatever works for everyone, I am happy to do it. I have an open toe foot that just makes putting on the labels so much easier. So that's what I'm going to do. I am Robin. I never really cared for that saying, you can call me anything you want, just don't call me late for dinner, because it was always kind of like sleazy guys that would say that to like 8-year-old girls. I'm like, I don't like that. That bothers me. All right, so here's our monthly question. I saw recently on Instagram that Christmas is 100 days away. It's less than 100 now. How y'all doing? Is everyone doing good? I love the donut fabric. Isn't it fun? I think I had a yard of it and it's almost all gone. Now, the reason I don't use anything but white thread normally for my tags is because I can't sew in a perfect rectangle, but it goes with the quirky. I'm not sewing for Christmas, except for like stuff for the shop, which I really need to start working on. But I like to have things in my shop that are year round. So some fun things for Christmas, but then things that people can purchase as gifts at Christmas time. Because by the time you give it, Christmas is over. And then, you know, they can use it year round. All right. Zipper is 0, 0, and a 4.0. Okay. Labels on. 100 days was unnecessary, right? We don't need to know that. Thank you very much. Yeah, people don't really like when I'm like, hey, you know, there's 2 weeks left till Christmas. They're like, shut up, Robin. Not to be rude, but we don't want to know those things. I'm like, yeah, I get it. I get it. Oh, all want books for Christmas? That's pretty good too. I think the gift card age has come back again, that it's good to give gift cards. Even if you don't give anything else, you just give a gift card. People, they want to be able to go and pick out specifically what they want. A lot of times my daughter will give me a list and I'll do my shopping a little early, like December 1st. And then when Christmas comes, she's already bought everything off the list. I'm like, I don't like that. Because now, you know, I have all these things that I have to return because, you know, I already see what's coming into the house. She'll be like, I really love this t-shirt, I'll buy it. Or I really want this book. And then I see oh, look at the book I just bought. I'm like, child, you drive me crazy. All right. Right sides together. The zipper teeth, which is the right side, are touching the pouch. Am I good? I've done everything I needed to. Yes. Ooh, apple picking. Corn mazes. I've got my foot tangled up in my cord. Come on, get back under there. Here we go. Much better. That's great. That's like perfect, Jackie. That's just it all the way around. Well, yeah, and they want you to start buying certain things and everything. I'm just like, hey, guys, don't forget, you need to start thinking about this. When I'm buying, like, gifts, like when the kids were younger, it was easier. I would buy things year-round and just put them away in the hope chest. Sometimes my kids weren't snoopers. I mean, they've never admitted to it, so I really think they didn't snoop. I'm the snooper of the family. So I would, when they were really little, I would wrap the gifts and put a number on it, and then I'd have a notebook hiding in my closet. Gift number 1 is, you know, monkey slippers for my daughter or something like that. She really liked monkeys when she was little. Hotel weekend, that's nice. Yeah, you kind of buy what you want. My daughter will give me my birthday's in February 7th, so early February. So she'll give me a big gift card for birthday and Christmas combination. And then because she's like, I don't know what you want, Mom. She always buys, she's really sweet. She tries, right? But she always buys the wrong things. So she's like, I'll give this to you, and then whenever I see a good deal on something I want goes on sale, I'll go ahead and purchase it then. So my gift cards will last me, you know, 6 or 8 months in time for the next round to come along. So that's the way we do it, and it works out really well. Last year I gave all of the kids gift cards just because, again, they're adults. They don't need anything. Sometimes I'll buy something for the house, but then it just kind of feels like a gift for me. Yeah. Buy them ahead of time. I used to have mall bucks. I also had a gift closet. So when after Christmas sales or whatever, I would go and buy like a bunch of toys when the kids were little, because you'd always get that birthday invitation, or the kids would be like, oh, I forgot, so-and-so's birthday is in 2 hours and I'm supposed to go to their party, you know? So I would keep handmade and regular stuff. As my kids got older, they wanted the handmade stuff to gift their friends in middle school and high school, because their friends thought it was the coolest thing that they got like a handmade pillowcase or a crocheted stuffed animal from my kids. So that's what we used to do. Buy it when it's cheap and then give it out throughout the year. Because a $50 board game is of the same value even though you bought it for 12 bucks or something, right? I don't think it should devalue something because you were smart enough to get or lucky enough to get it on sale. So I have the outside pieces, right sides touching. Then flip it over and I'll put the lining pieces, right sides touching, lining everything up at the top. I use my zipper foot. I think it's like a 1/4 inch seam for it. I don't know. I just know I have a certain spot on a zipper. Let's see if we can get this to work. On a zipper. You see this line right here? That's the actual stitching line that they put there so that you can stitch right there. So that's probably about a 1/4 inch. Yeah, I love using the polka dots inside the projects, Giovanna, because not everyone loves polka dots. Some people actually really, really despise it. But if I tuck it away on the inside, it's kind of something fun. Now the other ones, I'll probably pick out different actual Halloween fabric to put in it versus putting white or gray in all of them. I've been having fun. I used to do it all the time, and then I started just putting white fabric in. And I get sucked into the trends and stuff, but then I come back and I'm like, no, no, no. You know, my quirkiness works. I can do it my way. It'll be fine. So that's what I'm doing. Plus, I'm just trying to use up random fat quarters and leftover pieces of fabric that are large enough. So I'll go to my scrap bin and pull fabric for a liner. Who's going to know if it came out of my scrap bucket or off a yardage? Because sometimes, oh, thank you, Becky. Sometimes people are like, oh, I can't use my scrap fabric. It's not, the value is less. It's not good or whatever. And for those of you that sell things, just because you use the little bitty scraps and everything, that money, that fabric is not free. We look at it as free because it's a fun way to think about it, because if it would be thrown away, it's now bonus free fabric. But you paid $15 a yard for that 1.5 by 1.5 inch square, just as much as you did for the 12-inch square, you know? So that money, that's still there. And if you have to replace that fabric, you're not going to be paying nothing for it. You're going to be paying. That's so fun. I love fun Halloween. I don't, you know, okay, mummies are kind of scary, but these are fun ones. I don't like bats, but hey, it's just fun. You get away with Christmas and Halloween doing some fun things. It's a nylon zipper so that I can cut it with scissors. I can iron it for just a smidge. You see I don't stick on it for very long on this side. If you're using really thick fabric, you know, you might have to hit it a little longer. Oops, we got an ad. Oops, oops, oops. There we go. If I weren't using cotton batting, now the cotton batting holds, you know, it holds that lining fabric really nice. You could put some pins in it or add some clips to keep it away from the zipper, because I'm now going to top stitch 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, whatever I feel like. Exactly, Giovanna. Use the scraps because you aren't paying any more money for new fabric. But if you're selling it, it still has the same value. Don't undermine what you're making Although I feel like a really old fuddy-duddy sometimes, because some people are charging like, I saw someone make something like this size-ish, right? And they just did some type of patchwork or whatever. They sold 7 of them for $72 each. Are people crazy? I feel bad enough with what I charge for it, but then I see them online even more. I'm like, I don't know. Am I going to make more money if I charge more? That doesn't seem right. Oh, look. Sorry, sidetrack. I know. Robin's on a rant today. Look at this. The sprinkles are spiders. How cool. Yeah, I'm not going to charge $200 for my zipper pouches because I went to a yard sale and I got an old Walmart quilt, called it a handmade quilt, and then charged $200 for it. That's crazy. If you don't do anything but cut the quilt up and sew it into a tote bag, how can you ask that much money? So I feel like an old fuddy-duddy. What do you mean gas is $4 a gallon when I was your age? Right? It's crazy. Hi, Melanie. Haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, use your scraps. Save yourself some money. Just because you buy fabrics on sale, it's up to you. If you want to pass that cost savings on to your customers, that's more power to you. Or find a little balance in between. But if you bought white fabric on sale for $7 a yard, 50% off, right? $7 a yard, and you want to pass that on to your customers. So now they're buying this product at, let's say, $15, right? So now you're out of the white fabric. You've got to go back to spending $14, $15 a yard. So now you have to raise your prices back up. And your customers are going to go, but I bought this last week. It's the same exact thing. Why did the price go up $5 or something like that? You got to find that balance in there so you're making money and you're not killing your customer either. It's a hard line to figure out, pricing and stuff. Yeah, I remember in the 70s when gas was 75 cents a gallon and we had to wait in line for 2-3 hours in the old station wagon with the back window rolled down, and all the other kids were in line with their parents waiting for gas because there was a gas shortage and you can only have so much. My daughter's like, hey, I'm in my mid-30s and I remember when things cost this much. I'm like, yeah, the economy's really bad now. All right. Now I'm sewing all the way through to the lining. It is now a visible seam. So I want to make sure I don't get a bird's nest and things look nice. I try to keep it even. I love when I'm sewing and the little tail of the zipper does a zipper dance. Euros, yeah. Well, and yeah, and a lot of places don't do gas by the gallon. You do it like the quart or something like that. So you really have to do a lot of converting on pricing. You can hold your two pieces in your right hand so that everything's together. I kind of do this thing, and I put gentle pressure because I don't want to change the speed of the machine and make there be any issues. But I just want to make sure that it doesn't come back up to the zipper, and we're good. Got long threads. When the machine doesn't automatically cut its own thread, I feel like I waste a lot of thread. Well, let's see. Hi, Audrey. Happy Saturday. Yeah, those gas lines were bad. You see, Becky's Guild made 2 quilts and they're donated to an organization that helps others. They're going to use one for the upcoming raffle and save the other for, oh, that is awesome. Becky does a lot with her guild, and her guild does a lot. I need chapstick. So they do a lot of, I have to reach, my apologies. Check out my orange shirt. I wore it on purpose today. A lady saw them ahead of time and offered $5,000 for both. Wow, that's really good, because when you do raffles and stuff like that, they say a lot of times the quilts don't make much money. For anyone that's curious, I use Blistex Complete Moisture. It works really great here in Arizona. My lips are always dry. Bunched up shirt. Okay. When I sew, I start at the zipper part, the zipper pull, and then I just move it over. So I have like 2 threads here at the end. I used to put one side on, top stitch, put the other side on, top stitch. Now I just do both at the same time. The back side looks pretty good. There's always threads everywhere. So now I want to pull, cut those threads. I've learned to trim a lot of my threads, not all of them, just a bunch of the long ones. They always end up popping through. I go 3/4. I don't worry about too much that way. The zipper, you watch me mess it up now, tends to stay right. Halfway, you just want to make sure you open it and that it's inside your fabric, because anything on the outside of here is going to get cut off and not be in your pouch. I don't have matching patchwork on the pouches that had patchwork on the front and back, since they were, looks like I have something uneven. I want the pouch to be even where the zipper is up here. That's better. Yeah, if they're all like 2.5-inch squares on the front, 2.5-inch squares on the back, you want to make sure do your best to get them to line up. If they line up, great. If they don't, then, life goes on. But I like to try to get them to line up. And I love the quilt clips. Most of mine are on my tote bags. I use a lot because I prep so many at the same time. If I were making like a bunch of these, I might do all of these. No, I would do them one at a time because of changing the thread color. But if I were able to sew all of them at once, I would do the same step and stage them. So I would have all 20 or 50 or 100 zipper pouches at this stage. And then I would clip them all and I'd sew around all of them. Because really, if you do it right, you can use any color thread you want. I do like to match my thread to the outside pouch. So if it pulls at all, then the thread kind of blends and you don't see like white thread on a black pouch. Okay. I do everything at 3/8 seam allowance because I know I can't sew at 1/4 of an inch. I always end up like missing, come on chair, missing a piece of fabric somewhere. Something gets wonkified along the way. So that's what I do. And now, let me see, 3/8, 2.5 stitch length. Leave an opening in the bottom, which I'll be able to close up with this orange thread, so that'll be nice. I like to keep my clips off to the right of my needle at the back of my machine, so when I'm sewing, I can either let them pile up here or I can just slide them into the bucket. I have to do things to keep my brain kind of active and going. Now, when I'm sewing the lining, I use wider than a 3/8. So let's say you're sewing it with 1/4 of an inch, right? Your outside pouch fabric, you sew at 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. And on the inside, you sew 1/4 of an inch until you get to about 1 inch or 2 from the zipper. And then you use a wider seam allowance, like a 3/8 inch seam allowance. And that will stop your bag from being all kinds of baggy on the lining. After we get this sewn together, I'll show you how well the lining sits into the fabric, into the bag. Now, if you have a metal zipper, you know, you got different rules. Or if you use the, I don't like doing the zipper tabs. I do go slow, especially with this machine. I backstitch over the zipper. This side's usually the easy side because it's split open already. The other side is the one that can be a little annoying. And then you want to go to your standard seam allowance on this side. Yeah, if you take out a little of that extra, some people cut like a trapezoid looking thing, they'll cut their lining weird, but I sew it. I sew it a little short on each side. If I remember, great. If I forget, then I just yell at myself and go about my business. I get in trouble a lot. The boss yells at me an awful lot. There are the little jumpers that you can put underneath here, but also if you lift up your presser foot and you press that little black button in, and then you put your presser foot down, it will level for you. Some machines it'll automatically level. This one doesn't want to do anything. I think it's not high up enough to worry about it. Back stitch over the zipper. See, I'm going slow because if the zipper teeth line up like this and you try to put a needle through it, it screams and yells at you. Yeah, poor Robin. She gets in trouble all the time. You think she'd know better by now, right? Sometimes I even use my middle name. Such a troublemaker. A lot of times my lining does not line up when I get to the bottom. I just trim off the parts that don't line up. Nobody's ever noticed. Nobody's ever complained. You guys are either really, really sweet about my products or, you know, it just things don't happen. Now, please don't share my secret, okay? Yeah, sure sign I'm in trouble, but I'm going to sew a second time on the outside. When you look at a pouch and you turn it, and especially with the quilted ones, a lot of times the seam will pull a little bit, but for some reason the professionals say if you put a second line of stitching like almost right next to it, 1/16 or 1/8 of a way, it stops it from pulling because all the tension is on that outer seam. Yeah, but I trim it so it's not bulky in the bottom, Giovanna. Because I'm taking a larger seam allowance, it's like a 1/2 inch or so versus 3/8 of an inch. I don't always do this like in my videos or anything because I don't want to share all of my secrets. I love sharing tips and tricks with you guys, but if there's something really special that I'm kind of like, I'm not the only one that's come up with this, you know. This is a technique I learned from professionals. But if it's something that is really like one of a kind and makes a big difference in my products compared to other people's, then I don't always show it. All right, that's it. It's almost done. Now, I set my seams when I quilt, right? So why wouldn't I set my seams here? I will sometimes double stitch the lining if it's a fabric that looks like it's gonna fray a lot, because I learned if you buy certain like Joann's fabrics, I learned from quilting that sometimes they'll fray right past the seam and then you end up with the split seam there on the front of your quilt and there's no fabric left. So I do that on the lining if it looks like it's going to be one of those things, like, you know, if it's going to have issues. This one it's a good fabric. It's probably still Joann's, but it's a good quality fabric, because just because it came from Joann's doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing, but in the past some of their fabrics can be a little thinner than others. Oh, I haven't shown a lot of secrets, Giovanna. Trim my corners. Actually, I show almost everything in all my videos. I just don't zoom in on it or tell you about it. So if you're paying attention, you might see some. Trim off the zipper teeth. So this is the side with the zipper pull, right? So I have that side's open. Now this side, I put the excess on this side with the stopper because two things. One, you can buy new stoppers. So what if I had to use like a 24-inch zipper because that's the only one I had? I could buy new zipper pulls, and put it on there. Now these longer ones I do save because I'm determined. At one point back in Florida years ago before I was doing YouTube, I saw a really cool project using the zipper ends, and I can't find it again, and I can't remember exactly what it is. So I'm being stubborn and I'm saving my zipper bits for when that project, I wake up one morning with it in my brain. So I have this extra down here, so I'll cut that off in a minute. Don't cut your microphone. Microphones aren't cheap. Some of them are, but they don't work that well. So I like to lay my lining down and I just hold. Let me see if I put it over here. I hold what's left of my corner, and for me this works. I just kind of, it doesn't need to be perfectly even. You just want to stay away from the stitching line. Trim off this extra, but I don't trim where the turning hole is because it's helpful to have that extra fabric there. And then it won't bunch up at the bottom of your bag, Giovanna, and you don't have to have that bulkiness down there. It's really the difference. I'm not trying to offend anyone. I did the same thing. These are things that I needed to learn. This is something that I prefer not to have a baggy lining. If it doesn't bother you, do whatever you want. This is what I do for myself in my shop. You do what you want for your gifts in your shop. I don't like a baggy lining. In my opinion, it looks more handmade, homemade than professional. Pay money for this. If someone's going to give me their hard-earned money, then I want to make sure they're going to get the best that I can. And what I sell now is made better than what I sold 10 years ago. We all practice. Handy zipper by the Gypsy Quilter. Yeah, they have the little thing to put the tab on and stuff like that. You can buy them. Thanks, Mary. I will do as I said. Sometimes you're like, in my head I go, Robin, don't stab yourself with a pin, right? And 3 seconds later, Robin stabs herself with the pin. Like, what is your problem? Where's my thingy? Like, can you not like not injure yourself for a second? And always on my hands, like I've had this bruise because I tend to hit doorknobs on my hand, and bruises take forever to go away, and it annoys me. Oh, Giovanna, happy birthday! I don't buy zipper by the yard. I'm just not a fan. I don't want to. I think it's a great idea. But then I would want like 50 yards of every single color when I can go to Zip It on Etsy and just buy the zippers I want already in the size that I need. This is flamingotoes.com. It's a pointy thing. I also use a rounded crochet hook. This is a size K and it's a boy, B-O-Y-E. And it helps me poke out my corners. I'm not super particular. If my corner is a little rounded, so be it. If you can only make rounded corners and it really irritates you, just sew on a curve and then it'll be done on purpose, right? I meant it to be like that. Not until you're 90. 65, is that officially old? I feel like there's layers of old. And then after a certain one, it's just, hey, you're alive still. Congratulations. You survived. Okay. My large aliso, let me know if anyone has seen anything about it online or heard about it. I had to do a reset where kind of like, it reminds me when you do video games and you go up, up, down, down, right, right, down, left, right to get the cheat code or something. But my steam button doesn't steam. I did the turn, turn, on, off, turn the dial and all that, and now steam comes out of my iron, but I can't do bursts of steam, which means I also can't clean it to get any kind of buildup out of it. Has anyone had any problems like that? Have you heard of it? Is there any way to fix it? I'm guessing that it has something to do with the fact that the steam button no longer is connected properly or something. I don't know. It's really annoying because I've only had it since I've been in Arizona. So I think I got it maybe April, May, June last year. So it's over a year old. So it's past like warranty time and stuff, I think. And yeah, it's annoying. I'm going to have to send them an email or something because I haven't been using my large iron because it doesn't do what I need it to do. Yeah, you could be super old at 40 and you could be, super young at 80. Exactly. The reason I bought it, Becky, was because it said it had a little cartridge in there to stop the buildup. And I get like the white water and steam comes spitting out and I have to clean the iron. I make sure I don't, when I turn it on, I have to make sure I turn it on a certain way now and everything. So it's being a butthead. Yeah, I don't know what the law is here, but I'm going to have to email them and let them know. There should be, I think there might be a, hey, talk to a representative button on their website. I just brought it back out recently to go through it. I did some Googling and stuff like that, but yeah, I'm really kind of, and I spent extra to get the Tula Pink version. To be honest with you, to use the words, I'm kind of pissed off. That was my prize, my reward for moving to Arizona. Yeah, I like the raised feature and stuff. They're supposed to be better now. Oh, Mary. They must be getting stuck to your clothes or something. I am so paranoid about pins. To the point where mostly, I swear every time I use pins, I either get stabbed or I drop them on the floor. I don't use pins very much. And I'm like a surgeon. Okay, how many gauze pads did we use? 10. Okay, how many pins? 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're good. We got them all. It's annoying. I hope that I'm trying the best I can to go into my 60s better than my 50s because I figure, that's a good plan. It's always a good plan. I'm struggling a little because the chronic pain issues with my neck, I've been trying to do like different exercises every day so not to irritate different parts of my body, repetitively and to keep my brain happy doing it. But man, the chronic pain hit me hard yesterday. I mean, I was down for about, it was only for about an hour or two, but I knew what it was from because I overdid it. But anyway, I have the great grandparents and stuff. They lived into their 90s, but my father, he had cancer and he lived with that for, like 20 years. So he lived as long as he could, but he passed in his 60s. So I'm hoping that I've got some of those great-grandparent genes in me. Because I'd really like to enjoy my 80s. It's elves. That's funny. All right, so stitch along the bottom. And then we just tuck it all in. Dry eyes too. Oh, I'm sorry, Giovanna, that's young. Yeah, it was my husband passed from cancer. He was 54, so I've officially outlived him. I take my hand and I push the lining all the way to the edges. All right. See that? It sits in there nicely. It helps that it's cotton batting, so the batting holds it in, but the bottom sits all the way at the bottom, Giovanna, without any extra clumpity bumps down there. You know, if you're just making stuff, you know, do whatever. It doesn't have to be fancy and perfect-ish or whatever. Do what makes you happy. But I think when you start selling things, then you should, you know, you should do your best to learn your profession and make things the best way you can. So if anyone's interested, you can call dibs. Otherwise, I'm going to wait until I finish the other ones, and I'm going to get them all in the shop. But now we need to add a tassel to this, though, before we finish up for the day. I'm not going to keep you too long. We're already after 12:30. I was hoping for an hour, but I knew we couldn't do this in an hour. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's fun. I love, oh, sorry, that's loud, I'm sure. I love like, oh, look at this. It's fun. It's all patchworky. The back is solid. I know it feels weird to me, like patchy on the front and solid on the back. If it's patchwork, sometimes I'll do both. But this way, the fabric goes a little further, and you get this big bit of, if you don't want to look at the other side, you can look at this side. And you're like, I'm going to use my pouch. And then you're like, oh, I forgot it had such a fun lining in it. It makes me smile. It is weird not to see my label on the inside. It also, now people can obviously pick my label off, but if you sew it into the seam, you can avoid that, because some people will take a quilt and they'll take the quilt label off and then call it their own or sell it as their own, like if they got it as a gift or bought it somewhere like at a thrift store or something. There are some evil people out of there. No, I haven't ordered any tassels yet, Giovanna. I'm still working off of my supply, although I probably should have, because I do not have any orange ones. Let's see what I have, and we'll see if there's one that'll work for here. Otherwise, I probably should put in a order for some orange tassels. I know, the eyes are so fun. That's like, I have a couple more small scraps, but like that's all that I have. Either it's left over from, again, like Walmart old fabric, or one of you guys sent it to me. I kind of think you guys sent it to me, because it does have like 2 eyes. Yeah, so I'm wondering, you know, is it like a Coach bag or something? People are putting their label like really big here. I don't want you to look at the bag and be, oh, boom. I want it to be just, hey, that's Robin's bag. Maybe with a tote bag, I'll put the bigger labels on. Like these labels, it would still probably work. It's not huge. I would like to learn how to make my own so I can make them in different color fabric. But like having that down there, that one's just a little bit bolder. But I mean, I could, right? It still would work. It's just like it could go over there. But that's why I buy them in different sizes. I think, let me see, I spent $80 on labels, but I bought, I don't know, like 300 of them or something, and someone did all the work for me. I just have to cut them out. So I do need to learn. I pay for Canva, so I need to learn how to make the labels in Canva, because I know how to print them out on the printer. That part's not the hard part, just designing them and everything like that. I do like the little ones, yes. All right, oh, brown. I don't need brown. So I have some green, some purple. Sometimes I just hold it up. Bigger ones for quilts, yes. It works for, the bigger ones I put like on the inside of the tote bags and stuff like that. So I don't know. But if I have a variety, ooh, I'll need to pull out another one of these containers or find some more at the Dollar Tree. My labels are in green, so I need to have green still, right? Because my brain won't let me do anything else. Sometimes I'll pull out like a faded one, like that could work. And then also I go by the zipper color and the fabric that's at the top on either side. You know, I don't think I've ever had, oh, this one doesn't have a, I think this is an issue. There's no tassel in it. I think I'm just gonna go with that because there's no purple on there. I don't have any orange. So I think, yeah, I try to, when it gets this close to the end of the year, I try to wait to next year to order things. But if I just order orange ones or just some white ones or something and not buy like hundreds of them, then I should be okay. Yeah, black would be nice. Oh, I didn't even see that. I forgot there was green down there. Look at that. You're so smart. All right, let's hold on. This one goes in there. That one goes in there. Let's pull this back up. We do have that green down there. And normally I would be like, why would you have this color green? Because it's kind of like a swamp radioactive green. But for Halloween, that does work. So who said green? Who reminded me? Thank you, Becky. The cat's eyes are black. They're black. You know, the eyes are green. Yeah, so I'm going to put the green one on. I put it underneath the pouch and forgot it existed. See why Robin gets in trouble all the time? She doesn't know how to behave. Another reason why I learned early on when I cut through my quilt, when I was trimming things up because I had too much stuff on my table, that I learned to keep the table clear. I don't do very well during live streams, but I try to move everything around so that there's not anything underneath that's going to hide something. I won't rotary cut a ruler or something like that. There we go. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I don't know what happened, but this broke along the way and I had to add duct tape to the bottom. It was just this part here that broke off, but I didn't want the crack to spread anywhere at all, so I did that. I do use this a lot and it's very, very, very heavy. Very well used. Definitely worth buying it on sale. Never worth paying full price. All right. So we didn't use the ribbons on this one, but I'm going to keep the ribbons out and see if I can use any on the other ones. So here is, it's just a fancy corner now. Yeah, I put the special glitter. I didn't put like white duct tape on it because it's just mine and it's on the bottom. So I put the fancy aqua turquoisey, shiny, shimmery, glittery one. So there's the pouch, the front and the back. Oh, here I need a screenshot for the thumbnail. So here we go. Zipper pouch that way with a jiggly phone. Stupid floors. There we go. And then I'll show you the ones again. Excuse me. And then we have this one. So we have, there's a lot of times, I have a swamp green zipper that came in a multi-pack that I was really happy to put on here because how often are you going to use that color zipper, right? So there's that one. And by laying them out and knowing that the pieces are bigger because they stick past everywhere, I have extra if I need it. So for those of you that it didn't see in the beginning of the video, I think just even simple like this, if you don't want to go, wild and crazy like this, just kind of match your fabrics up a little bit. I went with a black and white theme with a pop of color. You can just put rose. Excuse me. You don't have to be wild and crazy. This is more like a patchwork. They're definitely not 2.5-inch squares, but I wanted to put Snoopy and the pumpkin in there. Some of these are 2.5-inch squares. I made some Halloween mini wall quilts last year. There might still be one in the shop where I cut out a whole bunch of 2.5-inch squares and just sewed them together. I think it might have like Boo on it with an applique. It's nice when I can put a full piece across the top or bottom, but I don't always do it. And then the backing. So this was a Walmart's. It came in, I think either a friend sent it to me or my daughter, but it was one of those 1 or 2 yard things on the cardboard. They have some fun ones this year too. I was looking, I haven't gone in the store. This is a ghost candy bowl, but it kind of reminds me of chickens. Walmart's candy bowl for this year, or little casserole bowl, is a ghost, just one ghost. You look straight down at it and it's a ghost. It's kind of a cool bowl. I think it was like a weird number, like 1327 or something. And then the sugar skulls. So that's it. We're all set for today. Yeah, a little bit of Snoopy's fun. I have to be careful because like I couldn't make a whole Snoopy thing because then you're going on trademarks. They don't like when you put it in the shop. You can usually like call it a dog zipper pouch or a Halloween zipper pouch. If you don't use the word Snoopy, you're usually okay. But I have a bunch of Hello Kitty fabric, and Etsy is really strict. Hello Kitty is very strict. And anytime I try to put something in my shop with Hello Kitty, they nail me every time. Just like I got hit with the Barbie fabric too. Thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, green? I haven't seen the green. I've only seen the black and the red. I enjoy, okay, it's fun. I could, let's say I had one pouch with just the eyeballs. That would be fun too, right? I like how it's just a little bit peeking out. So it's like an I Spy type thing. But if Giovanna had the eyes and I have the eyes and Becky has the eyes and Jody has the eyes, Jackie has the eyes, if you go to Etsy or you go to a market, you're just going to see the same things, the same fabrics over and over because everyone was buying at Joann's and now they're buying at Hobby Lobby. Now there are, of course, places you can buy online and stuff, but Riley Blake fabric is Riley Blake fabric. Everyone has it for their quilts. I want to have something fun and more original, so we have Scrappy. Because you're supposed to use it for yourself, Giovanna, and not make money off of their trademark. Yeah, you have to be really careful. Someone I saw on TikTok was taking the Brussels sprout bags from Walmart's freezer bags, and they were turning them into zipper pouches, but they were trying to be really careful not to go against the Great Value trademark, and they couldn't get a response to be able to upsell, reuse, recycle stuff. Walmart had no response. She didn't want to spend, thousands with a lawyer, so she just put like a fabric sticker over the Great Value part, because it's just a big screenshot of a whole bunch of Brussels sprouts on the front of the bag. And then it says Great Value. So it was a really kind of fun and quirky bag, but she was trying really careful because she has like a quilting business and doesn't want to get in trouble to, respect the trademark, but still make something that our customers want. So it's hard. It really is. It really is. It just makes it difficult. So little pops of it, stay away from it, and it becomes, this, nobody else is going to have this. Giovanna can make this. Jackie, Jody, Becky, anyone else. Who else do we have? Can we pick on another lady? Susan, y'all can make this, but are you going to have the same exact fabrics and the same exact size and the same exact place? Probably not, because some of this stuff is like no longer being made. It's a great pumpkin. I've had like Snoopy fabrics for a long time. So it's fun. You can make it your own, and you can use the most popular fabrics that everyone's using, but still make it your own. Does that make sense? No, exactly, Giovanna. But if we both had the same fabrics, Like some people have purchased the scrap bundles from me, so they have my fabrics, but they're not going to make the same exact thing, even though they have my scrap fabrics. When I go through all of my Halloween stuff, if there's fabrics I'm not interested in, or they're more for crumb quilts than what I want to use and stuff, I'll put together another scrap bundle of Halloween fabrics. It would. Life is so boring. You know, we don't want to all be the same. But I'm going to release you from school today. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. I have no idea what we're doing this Friday because I never know. I'm looking at the calendar. I have 2 doctor's appointments this week because I keep doing, they're like, come back in a month, so I get the same day, and they're always next, the buildings are next door to each other. They're never on the same day, and I always have to take 2 days away. Oh no, oh no. Jody, they always steal your stuff, don't they? Thanks, Giovanna. All right, I hope you guys have a great weekend. As always, is what Jody's going to do is she's going to say, hey, you got any more of this fabric? Can you make me something? You guys can always message me. I'm not really good at strict things. If you're like, I want this, this, and this size, and this placement exactly this way, I'm not really good at that. It kind of... I can't read what's in your mind. You know, you can't read what's in mine. I can't read what's in yours. But if you're just like, I've had people say, can you make me a purple Scrappy pouch? And I'll be like, I can do that easily. So thank you guys so much. I hope you have something fun to eat for dinner. I have boneless pork chops and applesauce. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Bye.